Alrighty guys, so continuing off from our first video about guardianship, we're going to move on to part 2. So part 2, you can find the details of how to serve family members right here on Family Law Self-Help Center. Again, you're going through guardianship, filing for guardianship over a child, court-ordered child guardianship. This is what we talked about during the first step, and then now we're moving on to who gets served. So let's go ahead and click right here, and it goes through and lets you know who you need to serve. So we have parents, grandparents, and brothers and sisters over the age of 14, as well as the Department of Health and Human Services if the child has received Medicaid, even currently or in the past. So where do you find this address? So you kind of have to do a little bit of a backtrack. So you have to go here to guardianship forms. And here under this category, child guardianship forms, certificate of mailing. So we're going to pull this up. Here you are going to do the same thing. This is your information, person, children's name. Now you're going to check off what items you're serving to the relatives. You're always going to serve the petition, and you're going to serve the citation. The citation is the most important item because that is where the court date is, and it will notify the person of when court is held, things like that. Petition notifies them why you're taking guardianship. So you check those items off. Now just follow the instructions. So when you are ready to mail off the documents, that's where your date's going to go. So let's say you mailed it off on October 15, 2020. That's the exact date you'll put. Here you'll put down the relatives' addresses. So again, mom, dad, grandparents, siblings over the age of 14. Scroll down just a bit more, and here is the address for Director of Department of Health and Human Services. Simply put, it is where you'll be serving kiddos who are getting Medicaid. So they do have to be notified that there is going to be a change of representative for this child. That's why. So you'll just put that down again, or I'm sorry, check that off, and then again put down your name right here, and it will accept your e-signature consenting to this form. Now, moving on to talking about certified mailing. So not everyone knows how to do certified mailing, and that's completely fine. We do always recommend going to the post office and letting the post office help you with the certified mailing part. It is quite simple once you see someone do it. It's not too difficult, and I have an example for us here. So for certified mailing, what that means is that when someone receives mail, they have to actually sign for the mail. This is your proof to the court that you actually served the relatives that need to be served. And this is how it works. So you get 2 green slips. One is your receipt. One is the item that they have to sign, and then you will get this back. The way to complete this is quite simple. So first, I already kind of took this off. So you can see here on this green slip, it has the article number. You would take it off, peel it off, and you place it right here on this green slip where it says article number. Okay. Then all you're doing is filling in who you're sending it to. So I have an example of sending it to Medicaid. So I put Department of Health and Human Services, their address. I checked off the boxes here, which lets the mailman know what I need from them. So this is a certified mail. I checked it off. And then return receipt for merchandise because I want this back. And it lets them know that I need this item back. The way they know that, where to send it to is your name goes here. Now, on your receipt part, same thing. You're putting it to who is this going out to, their address. Very simple. Once you're ready, and then the mail at the post office, they'll probably do this for you. However, you are welcome to prep this yourself and take it down to the post office. So all you do is you peel this off. And you go ahead and you place it right here on your envelope, just lining up with the dots, just like so. Then you take your green slip that you want back as proof, and you place it on here. And there's, again, little stickies on the side. You just peel it off, and you place it right on the back. Alrighty, so that's that. And then once it's sent out, the person who is receiving the mail will actually have to sign right here. This gets teared off by the postman, and then the post office sends it back to you. Your responsibility with this is providing a copy of this. You have to actually file this with the court. Okay? What happens if you don't file this? Right? What happens if mom and dad don't receive the mail, grandparents, or maybe they receive it and they deny to sign it? They can deny it, and that's fine. So what happens is you'll get this item. This is your receipt. This can also show proof that you have done your due diligence to serve relatives the best you can at their last known address. So always keep this handy. Ultimately, what the court wants to see is this, but if we don't get that back, make sure you at least file this. You do have to serve the relatives 20 days before the court hearing. So I always like to file these items 7 days before court to make sure that the court has it filed and everything is ready to go for the court hearing. What will happen is if the judge doesn't see either of these items, they will do, they can possibly deny your guardianship, or they'll do what's called a continuous. What that means is that the judge will then reschedule your court hearing until these items are completed. And it's a bit of a pain in the butt, so we have to make sure that we complete this step, and this is the guardian's responsibility to complete. Now, let's talk about what actually happens in a court hearing and some different scenarios that we have come across. So let's say that mom and dad are homeless and we have done our duty in trying to serve them at their last known address. But the mail has come back to us as not received, or it was denied by the post office. We run into some bumps because parents are sometimes, we can't track them down. What will happen is the judge will order during the court hearing, if the judge sees it fit, the judge will order a publication. Meaning, due to the circumstances with mom and dad's housing, and we weren't able to maybe serve them, they will have to publish the guardianship hearing in a newspaper. So the judge actually has to put in an actual order for that, and then you will follow the next steps of completing the publication. Now, I don't want to go into that too heavy because it's pretty rare for a publication to be ordered, and it's usually done in certain circumstances with parents where the judge may feel that the parents absolutely need to attend court, or they need to at least be served properly, things like that, to cover their bases. But never do a publication unless the judge has actually ordered it, and then there's additional steps to that. Now, another scenario, let's say that parents are completely fine with you taking guardianship. they understand that they need to get more stable before they can be full-time caregivers to their kids. And that's fine too, that happens. So when parents are consenting to guardianship, there's a separate form that they sign, which is here. Parent consent. I have it pulled up. So as you can see here, it tells you this form must be signed in front of a notary. It's a very simple form, takes like 5 minutes, maybe less. Your information, kiddo's information, the parent's name, their relationship, guardian, second guardian. Here is where the notary will take place. So that's that. Let's say that both mom and dad are consenting to guardianship. Each of them will need their own form. So what happens if a parent is consenting? Do I still have to serve them? No. So it does make it easier if parents consent to the guardianship, and then we do not have to worry about serving them. So sometimes it's possible for them to do this. Sometimes it's not always possible. Sometimes parents are really hard to track down. Let's say that one parent is consenting, the other is not. That's fine. If, let's say that the biological father does not consent to the guardianship, now he will need to be served along with his parents. So that's the paternal grandparents. Let's say the same situation, father is consenting, but mom is not. Biological mother needs to be served and her parents need to be served. That's a little bit about part 2. There is a way to file online, or you can mail it in to family court. I will do a separate video all about filing your documents with the court in a different video, and I will go into details about how to do that. That is it for guardianship part 2. It's relatively quite simple steps that just are very crucial steps to make sure that you're successful in your guardianship hearing. Thank you guys.